Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your astrologer friend and guide Irfan from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We have made videos so far and done 3 videos about the December predictions for the various signs from Aries till Gemini. Today we are doing Cancer predictions for December 2019. And at the cost of sounding repetitive, let me reiterate that these 3 months, November, December and January, are going to be challenging months for all the signs, including Aries to December. Now, while our videos are made according to sidereal astrology or Vedic astrology, however, these videos will resonate very strongly with those who consider themselves to be very strong Cancer zodiac sign people, as well as for those who have moon in the Cancer sign or the moon sign is Cancer. For even them, this will resonate very, very strongly for them because both their ascendant is Cancer as well as their moon sign is Cancer. So it will resonate very strongly with those people who have a moon Cancer sign as well. Okay. So now why are we saying that these 3 months, November, December and January, are going to be a little tricky and challenging for all signs? Because for all these signs, these 6 or 7 planets from Libra, Scorpio and Sagittarius, in these 3 signs, most of the planets are going to transit in or out of. And that's why, because Libra is the sign of relations, Scorpio is the sign of upheavals, obstacles, sudden events, also the sign of life or the denoter of the 8th house, according to the Kal Purush Kundi or horoscope, or the Aries horoscope, which is supposed to be the ideal horoscope or the starting point of horoscopes according to Vedic astrology. So a lot of energies are going to get into Scorpio as well. And lastly, Sagittarius, the sign of long distance travel, religion, spirituality, father, gains, luck, fate. A lot of energies are going to manifest in Sagittarius, which is also the 9th house of fate, luck, as I just said. So because of a lot of energies going to these 3 signs, a lot of upheavals, ups and downs, results, strong results coming for across for all the signs, depending on how these 3 signs are placed in what houses in your horoscope. Now for Cancer, these 3 houses, which is Libra, Scorpio and Sagittarius, are important houses of 4th house, 5th house and 6th house. The 4th house is the house of domestic happiness and mental peace. And I consider 4th house to be one of the most important houses in your life. Because if you don't have domestic peace and mental happiness, as well as the resources which the 4th house gives you, house, vehicles, jewelry, all sorts of comforts in life, and if these are afflicted, then your life is in a way incomplete. Then 5th house is the house of Scorpio for Cancer natives, ruled by Mars. But Mars also rules your other house, which is the 10th house of career. So very strong denotations for Cancerians from a career point of view. Why? 5th house is also the house of gains, plus 10th house is also ruled by the same sign ruler Mars. And the 5th house is also the 8th house to your career. Loss of career or changes in your career or sudden upheavals in your career are also seen from the 5th house. That's why for Cancer people, Mars as a strong yoga karaka and owning or ruling the 5th house and the 10th house is a very, very important planet. And Mars is going to remain for the majority of the month in your 4th house. So that's why for Cancer people, this month of December is going to be very, very important. And then the 6th house, the house of diseases, sickness, challenges to marriage, because the 6th house is the 12th house to the 7th house. So issues in marriage, issues in relationships, issues in business partnerships are all seen from the 6th house. Plus house of competition, house of people who are working behind your back, inimical people who probably don't wish the best for you. Also the house of colleagues, people who work with you or under you at work, house of career, house of service or job, and all of this denotation from the 6th house. And that's why for Cancer people, because these three are one of the most important houses, especially with related to Cancer people, Mars being the ruler of the 5th and 10th. So December month is going to bring in lots of results and in various directions. So let's talk about them. You will start off the month with both Mercury and Mars in your 4th house. Now Mercury rules your 12th house of excess, wastages, spending, and Mercury rules your 3rd house. So Gemini 12th house for Cancer natives and Virgo 3rd house for Cancer natives ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in your 4th house. So spending coming home or spending on home, and 3rd house short journeys, and Mars is placed, which rules the 5th house and the 10th house, in your 4th house. So means spending money on something related to house, which could mean buying homes, investing in homes, repairs in homes, buying material for home decors and all that can also be done, or investing in something related to home in the long term. So you buy a home and then you're looking at over next 3, 4, 5 years you're going to pay off the EMIs and then own the house. So that can also happen. Also doing short journeys or short duration journeys, even if you do a long journey, short duration journeys is also seen from the 3rd house. So 12th house getting connected to 3rd house and then coming home. So people who are living abroad or staying abroad, they come back home this month to spend time with family for the New Year's. And some people may also come back because they get a posting near home, or get posting in the ancestral land, or get posting where their family lives and they have been living apart from their family since some time. So that may also happen because Mars rules the 10th house and is placed in the 4th house. So career or job coming home, action coming home. Mars is the planet of action and Mercury is the planet of analytical, thinking through, planning, and then getting into 4th house. So through a planned move you may come back to your home base. Now some of you who are in armed forces or in related to law and justice, like lawyers, and if you have a home office, then you will do very well this month. People who are in armed forces may do very well because you may get a promotion, you may get gains, because of which material resources come into the house, because 4th house is occupied by both Mercury and by Mars. However, you may also spend money to beautify a home or do something about home. Some of you may buy vehicles, may buy cars. Some of you may buy or invest in vehicles for your business, because short journeys are indicated. 3rd house lord is going into the 4th house. 4th house is also for vehicles. And Mercury also rules the 3rd house, as well as your 12th house of spending. So that may also come about. Some of you may invest in, not too many, but some of you may also invest in vehicles or repair of vehicles. So home will be under focus, vehicles and buying material things, jewelry, or some luxury items for home, or electronics for home is also seen through this. Now, while Mars and Mercury are placed in your 4th house, Sun is placed in your 5th house. Now, what does this mean? Sun rules the 2nd house. 2nd house is the house of earnings and savings, and Sun is going into your 5th house. 5th house is the house of loss of career, and Lord of the 5th house is in the 4th house. So, which means that you may either get gains because the Lord of earning Sun is placed in the 5th house, which is also the house of gains. So you may either earn or you may gain in your earnings going up because of a change of job, change of role, or even a promotion, because Sun means shining. Sun is well placed in Scorpio. It is not as bad as Sun in Scorpio in the 8th house. This is better because Sun rules the 5th house. Sun is pretty strong in the 5th house, and Sun also in a Scorpio sign is not inimical to the Sun. So it is a friendly sign. Mars and Sun are friendly planets. So Scorpio is a friendly sign to Sun, and Sun is placed in the 5th house. Its natural rulership is of the 5th house. So Sun is pretty strong here. and Sun rules the second house. So there is a very strong chance that your earnings may go out, you may shine at a job, even through a change of job or loss of job, something good may come about. Either this month or within 2 to 3 months, something good may come about if there is a loss of job or change of job. However, don't give up your job or first resign from your job and then look for a job. Then things will be very, very different from you, because then it becomes a loss-making entity for you. Don't let go of a job before you find another job. Stay put in your jobs. Okay, because the 5th house is the house of loss of jobs. So be very careful how you deal with your job or role at work over the next 3 months. Now, other thing is, Sun placed in the 5th house, where Sun is very strong. 5th house is also the house of romance, and second lord going into the 5th house. So, and then what will happen is that when Mercury moves into your 5th house on the 5th of December, 12th lord of bed pleasures getting into the 5th house of romance with Sun, which is the lord of the second house of earnings and savings. And Mercury also rules the 3rd house of short journeys or short duration journeys, even if you go to foreign lands, and sitting in the 5th house with Sun. And while Venus is placed in your 6th house with Saturn, Jupiter and Ketu, Venus rules your 11th house of desires, and Venus rules your 4th house of domestic happiness, domestic peace and mental happiness. But it has gone into the 6th house in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a very fiery sign. So giving heat to Venus, giving heat to desires, passion, and Sun and Mercury being in the house of romance. So some of you may go for short journeys or short duration journeys, even if you go abroad, and with a lot of romance and intimacy involved. Now, if you're not careful, you may come back pregnant from those short journeys, short duration journeys also. That may also happen. Or even if you don't go for short journeys or short duration journeys, because of being very strongly connected to the 5th house, which is the house of public performances, you may spend a lot of time enjoying, going to art theatre, watching movies, going to parties. And when you come back home after a drink or two, if you're not careful, intimacy results, and then from there pregnancy may result also. Why? 5th house is the house of children also. And very strong energies of the 2nd house is going into the 5th house. 2nd house is the house of dependence. Children are dependent on you. So dependence house Sun strongly connected to Mercury. Mercury rules the 3rd house. 3rd house is also Kama Bhav, or to some extent intimacy. So 3rd house, 7th house and 11th house are the house of desires, intimacy, and also passion. So if you're not careful, children may result because of high intimacy. So just letting you know, if you're not planning a family, so this is your chance. But if you are looking for a family, looking to get pregnant, December is the month for you. Anyways, the month of enjoyment and pleasure and parties and all. So, all the best to you if you're planning a family. Now, around the 15th of December, you will have Sun moving into the 6th house and Venus moving from the 6th house into the 7th house. So, which means that, and Mercury remains in the 5th house. So, while Mercury remains in the 5th house and Sun moves into the 6th house, and between the cusp time between 5th and 15th of December, before Sun transits, you may look at investments. You may look at short-term investments into shares, into even property, because 5th house is the house of speculation. But not so much about property, but more about maybe not living in the property. Your intention may not be that, but your intention may be that let me invest in property so that I make gains long term. So you may buy shares, you may buy property, you may invest in real estate. Why? 5th Lord, Mars is sitting in your 4th house, which is the property of real estate. So you may do that also. However, be careful of, because you start off the month with Mars and Mercury in the 4th house, be careful of not being too analytical in your relationships, being too analytical with things at home. So strong energy of Mars coming home and Mercury being there, which is the planet of analysis and finding challenges, finding problems, and then correcting it. So you may be too aggressive at home, trying to correct people, overshooting your frustration or your aggression, spoiling the environment at home. So be very, very careful, because a lot of Mars energy is sitting in your fourth. So be very careful of not being too aggressive at home. Be calm. Deal with your spouse well, because fourth house also denotes domestic affairs, and domestic affairs means spouse, means family, and because a lot of energies are going into the fifth house and the fourth house. So be careful how you deal with your spouse and deal with children. You may want to make some of the investments for children, especially for children's education, because Mercury is also the planet of looking at, of intellect, and so you may want to do something where long term you do something for the children's education also. And because of the lot of energy is coming into the 6th house around 15th of December, with Sun moving there and Venus moving into your 7th house. So 6th house of Sagittarius is very strongly populated with Sun, Saturn, Ketu and Jupiter. And Venus has gone into a 7th house. So what will happen, what it means that is that some of you may go for long journeys, romantic journeys, even short duration journeys, and come back and decide to get married. Why? Venus rules your 11th house of desires, passion, 4th house of domestic peace and mental happiness or domestic happiness, and coming into your 7th house. So desires, home, domestic life, coming into the 7th house by Venus. Venus is the Karaka or the significator of relations, and Venus rules the 7th house also, generally. So Venus being very strong, coming into the 7th house means marriage bells can ring for some of you. And why so? Also because Saturn rules your 7th and 8th house for Cancer natives. Saturn has gone into the 6th house. Jupiter rules your 9th house. 9th house is the house of religious ceremonies. Marriage is also a religious ceremony. So the Lord of the house of religious ceremonies is sitting with the Lord of the 7th house of committed relationships. And Venus has gone into the 7th house. So strong chances that some of you may either commit in a relationship, saying that okay, I'm committing, we are together, start living in a live-in relationship, getting engaged or getting married also. Now, out of these 3 or 4 results, stronger will come by basis how Venus is placed and Jupiter is placed in your horoscopes. However, if Venus and Jupiter are not well placed, or especially Venus is not well placed and Saturn is not well placed for Cancer natives, being the ruler of the 7th or 8th, this could go other ways or otherwise or the other side. Ketu being sitting in the 6th house, Saturn sitting in the 6th house. So Saturn is sitting 12th to itself. Loss of relations also, loss of marriage also. So the moment Venus comes into the 7th house, into the sign of, or into the house of Saturn, and Saturn moving into and being there in the 6th house anyways, those results may also manifest, where you come back and you may say, no, I don't want to be with this person anymore, it was a bad experience. Or even if you don't go on a long journey, you may think, if you're in the relationship, you may think enough is enough, and you may want to sever ties. So the distance could be for a short duration, the distance could also be a long duration, the separation could be for a long time or even permanent. And if you're married, it could be at the start of the challenges to the marriage, starting from issues to separation, leading to divorce also, depending on how planets are placed in your horoscope. So be careful of next 3 months, especially in December month, because a lot of wrong things may come about. Second, if you are in a relationship outside of a committed relationship, Venus coming home means you get found out. 11th Lord of social connections, Venus, and coming into the 7th house. So Venus is not well placed in your horoscope. Say Venus is placed in the 8th house, or Venus is even placed in the 5th house in Scorpio, which is the house of romance, and now in transit comes into your 7th house, means your outside influence or relation comes home, you get found out or comes into the marriage. And because you get found out, and Saturn ruling the 7th house in the 6th house of loss of marriage, there is a challenge there also. So be careful of how you behave. If you are in a relation outside of marriage, finish it up now. Don't wait till December comes, because post 15th of December you will get found out, and your relationship and your reputation, general reputation in society, will also get affected. So please take care of this. So this month is about relation, this month is about investment, this month is about financial transaction, this month is about partnership, this month is about career, gains in career, movement in career, movement up because of Mars getting into the fourth house. For those people who are consultants working out of office, home office, like lawyers and other people who work out of home or have one room converted into office, good for them, because 10th Lord is sitting in the 4th house. So some of you may want to start your own practices, start your own consulting firms, and you may also want to do that. People who are sitting at home and dealing with shares and all, they may earn money, or they may do some good investments out of this month also. However, be careful, because the 12th Lord is also, Mercury is also getting into your 4th and then into your 5th house. So be careful how you make those investments. If Mercury is not strong in your horoscopes, then be more careful and double the careful. Take double the care. And then by the 26th of the month, you will have Moon, Sun, Mercury, Saturn, Ketu, Jupiter, all 6 in your 6th house. And Mars then moves into your 5th house, okay, of Scorpio. So Mars moves into his own house of Scorpio. Venus remains in your 7th house, but other 6 planets are all in your 6th house. So with 6 planets in your 6th house on December 26, the last 5-6 days of the year, that is where most of the action will happen, where you have parties, pubs, going out, drinking. So 6th house is also the house of sickness, illness, and 8th Lord Saturn is also going there with Ketu, okay, and so which may mean that Ketu and Rahu is placed in your 12th house. 12th house is also the house of hospitals, clinics, judiciary, jails. So Rahu and Ketu work as a team. Because of the environment of alcohol and other things, between December 26 to the first week of January, if you overdo it, Rahu will mislead you. You may drive fast, you may look for exhilaration, adrenaline rush, and Ketu follows behind. Ketu's sign of images with a sword or a knife in the hand. So Rahu leads you into some upheaval, accident or something, and Ketu goes chop. So be careful how you drive. Don't do any drunken driving. Be slow. Don't look at too exciting times. Don't fall for the adrenaline rush. Especially for Cancer natives with Rahu in the 12th and Ketu in the 6th house, and with all these malefic energies. Sun is a malefic energy, strong malefic. In Sagittarius, Ketu is a malefic energy. Saturn is a malefic energy. And with Moon going there, all these malefic energies overshadow the Moon. Means your thinking is affected. You're not able to take the right decisions. And Moon is the Lagna for Cancer natives. So the mind, the individuality, the reputation, everything is at stake because of Moon going into the 6th house and strong malefic energy there. So between the 26th of December to the first week of January, be very, very careful how you carry yourself. Okay, Cancerians. So the focus, see how your planets are manifesting, where the energy lies, take decisions accordingly, and be careful. A lot of good things can happen in your life with gains in career, movement up. Children may happen to you, good investments may happen, real estate may happen, buying of things may happen, earnings may go up, gains may happen. On the other side, mishaps, upheavals, challenges in health, those may also happen, and more spending may also happen, and challenges in marriage may also happen. So be careful, and not only in December but a major part of January also. If you can see these 2 months out, then it's a very good period ahead from February onwards for Cancer people. Very, very good, exciting times for you. And so this is my analysis for Cancer natives for the month of December 2019, my friends. If you're looking at for a consultation from me, please check out my email ID in the link below. And please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my new video is coming. And till we meet some other time, this is your friend astrologer guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.